Hi, you guys. It's me, Dawn. I hope you're all doing fabulous. I'm sorry. I'm just in a really good mood. Okay. So, I wanted to make a video like a couple days ago, but last week was insane. Let me tell you about it real quick, okay? Last Monday, I went to donate plasma. I've been donating plasma for years and years and years, believe it or not. And because you know what, my plasma goes to help save lives, and it's I feel good about doing that. I really do. And I even donated today. Look, you see my little bandage? My bandage. But today was painful. These people, some of the place I go to now is differently than the place I went to a couple years ago. And I don't want to sound mean, but some of these people need to learn how to find veins better without causing excruciating pain. But anyways, beyond that, okay. So last Monday, I went to go donate plasma. My husband called into work because he wasn't feeling well, and he, for the past couple of years, he's been suffering from gallbladder issues. He has a gallstone, right, and it's been bothering him for a few years. But this past Monday, not today, last week, last week he called into work because he was not feeling good. And so I went, I donated plasma, and I came back home and I asked him, I was like, how uh, how is your pain? He's like, oh, I don't know, I don't feel well at all. And I was like, and I was exhausted because donating plasma exhausts me. It really does. But so I was like, get in the car. He has health insurance, thank God. So I drove him to Parkland Hospital in Dallas, and I've heard good things about them. And so I was like, all right, let's go try Parkland out. Excuse me. And I will say, Parkland is amazing. They treated him and myself very, very, very well from the moment he stepped into the ER to the moment he was discharged on Tuesday or on Monday on Tuesday afternoon. And and it's actually fairly close to our house. Anyway, so we get to Parkland, and by the time I find a parking space, he's already in the waiting room, or he's already in the waiting room. He's got his little wristband on. He's just waiting to be called back. And so he does. He eventually gets called back into triage, and he gets his blood drawn and some things. I don't remember now. I don't remember all that. What happened with that? But and after they got his blood and they got some more information, he went back out. They sent him back out in the waiting room, and we waited. And they eventually called him back in, and he got a bed in the emergency room. And it was there where, and you know how ERs are, emergency rooms take forever. I mean, you're in there for like 8, 9, 10 hours, mainly waiting, just waiting. But he got a room, and the doctor, he got also some pain meds. He got IV fluids, and he got some good hardcore drugs because he was feeling pretty good. He was feeling great. Oh gosh. And then the doctor ordered an ultrasound. He wanted to check like how if his gallbladder was um, leaking bile or something, and check his kidneys and stuff. And so we waited about 3 hours for the person to come in to take an ultrasound. Oh my goodness. So after they did this, the woman came in and she took the ultrasound, and then we waited like an hour until the doctor came in and said, "Yeah, man, you got like your gallbladder's full of stones." And my husband's like, "Stones, like plural?" And I was like, "Yeah, Robert, your stone gave birth to many babies." Because a couple years ago when he went to the hospital, they did an ultrasound, and he only had one small gallstone. So his gallstone had a family. And but the cool thing was the doctor was just like, "Yeah, we can remove your gallbladder for you, man." Whereas the other hospital we went to a couple years ago, they didn't even mention that. They're just like, "Oh, we'll give you some prescription for like Tylenol 4," and sent him on his way. So my husband was like, "Really? You can take my gallbladder out?" He was all excited because he's been in such pain, you know. And the doctor's like, "Yeah, man, we can hook you up." So, oh goodness. And I think it was maybe around 8 or 9 at night at this time, and and they were just like, we're just going to wait, we're going to get a room cleaned up for you upstairs. So we just waited and waited and waited. But they were concerned about his blood sugar. They thought he might be diabetic because his blood sugar was really high, and he's not diabetic. He's not pre-diabetic at all. And it's just that we have been snacking on crackers the whole time we were waiting because we were hungry. And we weren't expecting him to have to stay overnight. We were expecting to go get some dinner and go home. He would have a prescription for pain meds. But so it was him eating these crackers that caused his blood sugar to go high. And so that every couple hours they would come in even throughout the night and check his blood sugar. And he was actually scared that he was diabetic because it runs in his family, but he's okay. He's okay. So around 10 o'clock or so, we were still in the ER bed. The ER, he had his own private area in the emergency room, and his phone died. And my phone was slowly dying. And I was like, maybe I could run home and get our power cords, and maybe I can get something to eat because when I donate plasma, on the days that I do donate, I am ravishingly hungry and thirsty. I mean, I'm always drinking water day before, day of, day after. And so I was hungry and I was getting kind of like a headache. And so I told him, I was like, look, let me go ahead. I'm going to run home, pick up some things, go get something to eat, and then I'll come back. He's like, okay. And I think I went home. Yeah, I went to McDonald's to grab like a McDouble or something. And then I came home and I grabbed our power cords. I grabbed some snacks for me because I knew that I wasn't going to have any money in the hospital. It's been a long week. I grabbed some snacks and things like that, and some water, and and gosh, what happened? And by that time, after I rested for a little bit, it was around 11:20 or 11:30 p.m. at night. I was like, okay, time for me to head back to the hospital. And it had been raining, and rain having it rain is not a big deal at all. But y'all, we don't have working windshield wipers, and so it kind of is a scary experience if it's raining too hard. Thankfully, I don't think it was raining at all when I left the hospital. And I don't think it rained at all when I went back to the hospital. Plus, it was like really late at night. So I was able to like drive down I-30, like bam, and get to the hospital. So that's good. But when I got back, I tried to, I went to the ER first, and I was just like, hey, I need, it's my husband. He's in the back in the ER, he's in area A3 or something. And they're like, we don't have a recollection of your husband. I'm like, oh my goodness. So, but we eventually got it figured out. They took me back to where he was originally at, and he wasn't there. They got him a room upstairs. So I had to go to the atrium and log in or go show them my ID so they can give me a pass. And I thought I was just going to go up there to say goodnight and have to go home. But no, they're like, oh, no, you can stay the night. I was like, really? And I was kind of shocked because one of the hospitals that we went to a couple years ago when he had to have surgery to remove a kidney stone, he's got a lot of stone issues. But they told me, they're like, you can't stay here. I'm like, where do you expect me to go? I was like, we live like 2 hours away from the hospital. Well, I don't know, but you can't stay here. And I'm just like, that's my husband right there. But anyway, but so I was really excited to be able to stay with him. So they gave me my pass and told me what room and what floor he was on. And I went up there, and poor guy. He was barely there. He was barely awake. I mean, he was waiting for me to come back before he fell asleep. And with surgery, you're not allowed to eat or drink anything for 24 hours. And he's like, I'm so thirsty. And I felt kind of bad. I was like, don't they give you ice chips? I mean. But so I got kind of comfy on the little couch there, and I got his phone charging, and I didn't sleep at all, though. I did not. I wasn't worried because I knew he was in good hands. Parkland has a great doctors and nurses and registered nurses. They do. They really do. I wasn't worried about that. I just couldn't sleep on that couch. It was horrible. So anyway, but and people were coming in and out all night long, and I'm just like, people were coming out like 2 a.m. to check his blood sugar or check his blood pressure or temperature. I'm like, can't this all wait till like 6 or 7, when the sunshine comes up? But that's a hospital. So anyway, around 6:30, a team of people come in and they're like, "Hey, Robert, you ready for surgery? Because the operating room is waiting for you." And he was like, "Oh my God!" He started freaking out because he was scared. You know, one moment, he was scared, which I understand. But they got him, unhooked from like his IVs and all this stuff, and they were like, "Oh, ma'am, follow us down. You can follow us down to the surgery or the operating room, prep room before they go in." I'm like, "Okay." So I did, and I followed him down, and then they said when they were about to wheel him back to the OR, they're like, "Oh, you can go ahead and wait in the waiting room OR." I'm like, "Okay, cool." So I did, and they're like, "We'll call you back when he's done." I waited in that OR for probably 4 or 5 hours. I saw all these doctors and nurses coming in and being like, "Oh, the family of Williams, please come forward. The family of Bauer, please come forward." All these people, and I'm just sitting there, and I'm just like, after the fourth hour, I went up to the desk nurse. I'm like, "Do you have any?" Do you know what's going on with my husband? Because I haven't been called, and I'm pretty sure he's done with the surgery because it was laparoscopic. They made like four small incisions on his belly. So, and then the doctor was like, "Oh, it's not going to take too long. It'll take like an hour and a half, unless we run into complications." They did not. But the lady's like, "Oh, he's already recovering in his room." I'm like, "Why wasn't I notified?" I was like, I'm sitting here, and everyone else is getting called back to see their loved ones, and my husband is in his room recovering, and nobody cared about me. But that's okay; it's forgiven. So, he had his gallbladder removed on Tuesday morning around like, let's see, 7:30. He went down there. I think he went in around 8 or 9, and he got out at like 11. So it wasn't that bad. Like, he got out of surgery at 11. So I went up to the room, and he was all groggy from anesthesia and everything. But he finally had food. They gave him like a huge plate of food and water, and so he was happy about that. And as anesthesia wore off, excuse me, I'm sorry. As the anesthesia wore off, he started getting better, and he started feeling better. And and I'm sorry, you guys, my brain is just like gone. and and okay, yes, the nurses left us alone, and I helped him if he wanted some of his food cut up or whatever, but he was just like, "I got to go to the bathroom." That was his first thing. So I helped him up, but he was okay. I mean, he was able to get up out of bed, and like I said, he was eating, he was drinking, and he said with every passing minute, he felt stronger. And he said, even though he felt the where they took out his gallbladder, like the wounds, the four little incisions, he felt that, but he's like, "I don't feel pain. I don't feel gallbladder pain for the first time in forever, and it feels great." So that's really good. So around 4 p.m. on Tuesday, they discharged him. They gave him some prescriptions, and they're like, you know, bye. So yeah. Um, and he recovered the whole week very well. With he was, they gave him a note off of work for 2 weeks, but as of today, he's back at work today. Believe it or not, he recovered very well last week. Each day he got stronger. He couldn't sleep on his side for a couple days, and and he got tired really fast, but he was able to. By yesterday, he was driving the car and things like that. And like I said, today he's back at work. I don't think he's under. He's not doing like his the heavy lifting and stuff because they said not to lift anything until you're fully healed. But he's back at work. He works in a warehouse as an operations specialist. So I don't know what he did today. I'll find out when I pick him up in a few minutes or in a few for in about 2 hours. So, but he's back at work, and that's good. And he's very happy. He's very happy that his gallbladder is out. The doctors and nurses were just like on his discharge papers. They're like, "Oh, you can resume a regular diet. You don't have any restrictions." But I do notice that he is hungrier more often. Well, yeah, he is more hungry, or is that just normal for him? I don't know, but he is. I mean, he's doing very well. So I'm really thankful for that. And you know, we were all both a little concerned about finances because he had already used up all his vacation days and all his sick days to when he went to go see his mom in June. His mom suffered a stroke. She's fine. She's 100% fine now. But he used up all of his sick and vacation days to go see her, so he had none. And we were kind of concerned with him not working. You know, like there's no money coming in, and we were a little concerned. Well, a couple of days ago, HR calls him and says, "Hey, we're going to pay you for this week that you were out of work." Wow, thank you. So that's awesome. That is great. They actually have a heart and soul, believe it or not. So, yay. Okay, so that was my week last week. I was his caregiver and I took care of him. I did. I made sure he was comfortable and I helped him in and out of bed and in and out of the car and things like that. And but I tell you what, yesterday, you guys, I was done. I was done. I was like, okay, you need to go. You need to go. I love you, but you need to go. Oh my goodness. I think it's mainly because he keeps watching like anime and he plays it really, really, really loud and I can't think and I can't concentrate. And that was driving me crazy. But everything's okay now. So, okay. Hmm. What else should I talk about? Oh my gosh, you guys, tomorrow is, hold on. I keep looking at my phone because, okay, tomorrow's October 16th. I am going to see Striper in concert and I'm going to get to meet them. So I'm a new Striper fan, actually. I've been a Striper fan maybe 6 months. 6 months. And originally, I was supposed to see him June 1st. I was in the venue with my friend Johnny, and I was ready. I couldn't wait. I was like, "Yeah, my first Striper concert." And I get a text. There was like three bands playing before Striper, and I get a text from my husband saying, "Hey, you need to come home now. My mom had a stroke." And I'm just like, "Oh my gosh, no!" No. So I told Johnny, I was like, "Johnny, drive me home, please." And he was able to come back and see Striper, but I did not. So this is like my second chance to see him. I'm so excited. And they're playing at the exact same venue. And I know where it's at, so it's not a big deal. But I had a friend who um, she bought me a meet and greet VIP ticket to meet them. I'm so excited because my tickets, I bought two of them. They were like $10 each, so it's not a big deal. But she wanted me to meet the guys, and I'm so excited because I've been praying for Oz Fox, his recovery, and I want to meet him. I'm excited. So there's that. What else? What else? What else? Oh, if you have not gotten Steve Perry's new album Traces, you need to get it. You can get it at Barnes and Noble, Walmart, or Target. I've been listening to it nonstop, and the more I listen to it, the more I really, really, really enjoy it. I really do. I'm sorry, y'all, if I'm coming in and out of the screen. I keep scratching. Ow. Okay. All right. This video is long enough, and I need to go rest before I pick up my husband from work. So I just wanted to say hello and say hi, and that that I'm going to see Striper tomorrow. There we go. I can't think. I'm sorry, you guys. I will chat with you all later. Bye.